The fire crackles softly in the darkness, its glow a fragile warmth as shadows dance around you. A story from 1912 Vermont waits to unfold, a tale of a blaze that consumed more than a building, exposing secrets that scarred a town. This isn't about vanishings or curses, it's real, forged in the ashes of human error, its echoes burning into 2025. Stay with me by the fire. This one will sear your heart and linger long after the embers fade. It's midwinter 1912, in the small town of Brattleboro, Vermont, where the snow falls thick and the air bites with a chill. The Maple Haven Hotel stands at the edge of town, a 3-story wooden structure, its paint peeling, but its warmth a beacon for travelers along the Connecticut River. The hotel, owned by 45-year-old Harold Bennett, a stout man with a gruff voice and a calculating gaze, is a local staple, its 20 rooms often full with loggers, merchants, and families passing through. Harold runs the place with his wife, Edith, 42, a quiet woman who manages the kitchen, her hands always floured from baking bread for guests. The Maple Haven is a modest retreat, its lobby adorned with a crackling fireplace, its walls lined with faded wallpaper, the scent of pine and smoke filling the air. Guests gather in the dining hall each evening, their laughter echoing, the clink of glasses a constant hum. Harold keeps the hotel running, but whispers follow him, rumors of late-night card games in the basement, debts unpaid to local suppliers, and shady deals with loggers who smuggle goods across the river. The townsfolk tolerate him, his hotel a lifeline for Brattleboro's economy, but suspicion lingers, their trust in him thin. Edith, aware of Harold's dealings, stays silent, her loyalty torn, her fear of losing their livelihood keeping her quiet. On January 14, 1912, the night is bitter, the temperature plunging below zero, a storm brewing over the mountains. The hotel is full, 12 guests, including a family of 4, a merchant from Boston, and a group of loggers, their boots still crusted with snow. Harold stokes the fireplace in the lobby, the flames roaring, but the building's wiring, old and frayed, hums dangerously behind the walls. Around midnight, a spark from an overloaded circuit catches in the attic, where Harold stores crates of smuggled whiskey, the wood dry as tinder. The fire spreads fast, smoke billowing, the attic creaking under the heat. A guest, woken by the smell, shouts a warning, but it's too late, the flames race down the stairs, trapping many in their rooms. Chaos erupts. Guests stumble into the halls, choking on smoke, their cries swallowed by the roar of the blaze. The wooden stairs collapse, the fire's heat warping the walls, windows shattering from the pressure. Harold and Edith escape through a back door, their faces blackened, their breaths ragged, but they don't look back. The family of 4, a mother, father, and 2 young children, perish on the 3rd floor, their door jammed, their screams unheard. The merchant suffocates in his room, the loggers trapped in the dining hall as the ceiling caves in. By dawn, the Maple Haven is ash, its skeletal frame smoldering in the snow, 12 lives lost, the town forever changed. The aftermath shakes Brattleboro. The townsfolk gather, their faces pale, their hands trembling as they pull charred remains from the rubble, their grief a heavy shroud. Harold, unharmed but shaken, claims the fire was an accident, his voice cracking, his eyes darting. But the fire marshal, a meticulous man named Arthur Crane, investigates, his findings chilling, traces of whiskey in the attic, far more than a hotel should store, and wiring Harold never fixed despite warnings, prioritizing profit over safety. Whispers of Harold's smuggling grow louder, the town's anger simmering, their trust in him shattered. The victims' families demand justice, their cries echoing in the town square, their loss a wound that won't heal. The trial begins in March 1912, the Brattleboro courthouse packed, the air thick with tension. Harold is charged with negligence and manslaughter, the prosecution led by a young lawyer named Daniel Foster, his voice steady but fierce. Foster presents evidence, the fire marshal's report, testimonies from suppliers Harold owed money to, and a logger who survived, claiming Harold bribed him to store the whiskey, knowing the risk. Harold's defense is weak, he blames the storm, the guests, even Edith, his excuses hollow, his composure crumbling. Edith takes the stand, her voice barely a whisper, admitting she knew of the whiskey but feared speaking up, her guilt a weight she can't shed. The jury deliberates for a day, the town holding its breath, the snow falling outside. On March 15, Harold is found guilty, sentenced to 20 years, his name a curse in Brattleboro. The fallout is profound. Harold serves his time, released in 1932, a broken man, dying shortly after, alone and forgotten. Edith leaves town, her shame a shadow, living out her days in obscurity. The Maple Haven site is left empty, a scar on the land, the town rebuilding but never the same, their innocence lost in the fire. The victims' families mourn, their lives upended, the children's laughter a memory, the merchants' wares unsold, the loggers' families destitute. Brattleboro moves on, but the tragedy lingers, a story told by elders, the hotel's ruins a reminder of that night, its truth buried in time. But in 2025, the story reignites. A local historian, 28-year-old Emily Harper, researching Vermont's past, uncovers a box of documents in a Brattleboro library, court records, Harold's letters, and a journal from a surviving guest, detailing the night of the fire, the panic, and Harold's negligence. Emily posts her findings on X, her voice trembling, "This town still feels it." The post goes viral, resonating with those who've lost loved ones to negligence, the Maple Haven tragedy a mirror to their pain. Emily learns of a 2025 incident, a Brattleboro factory, owned by a Bennett descendant, is under investigation for safety violations, risking workers' lives, echoing Harold's greed. Here's where the ashes settle deep. Emily's discovery prompts outrage. Fire safety experts analyze the 1912 case, noting Harold's negligence mirrors modern violations, ignored warnings, profit over people. In 2025, the factory's owner, 39-year-old Michael Bennett, faces lawsuits, his family name tied to the past, his negligence a haunting parallel. Emily visits the Maple Haven site, now a memorial park, and feels the air shift, heavy with memory. She finds a charred key, stamped with MH, a relic of that night, its metal cold in her hand. Last week, a worker at Michael's factory shared a photo online, a rusted lock from the site, marked with MH, the same initials, a silent echo of that tragedy. Think about that. It's 2025, and you're scrolling X, reading Emily's post, feeling the burn of a fire that never truly died. Harold's greed consumed lives in 1912, and now Michael carries that flame, risking more. The victims, then and now, deserve better, their stories tied by a town's scars. The key Emily found rests in a museum, a reminder of what negligence costs. If you're in Vermont, walk that park. You might feel their loss. Comment if this story touched you. Subscribe for more by the fire. This tragedy still smolders.